Binge the full week of The Ray Taylor Show ad-free over at inspireddisorder.com/plus.
This is The Ray Taylor Show.
Welcome to Top 5 from The Ray Taylor Show, where each week I rank movies in a variety of categories, from franchise and subgenre to directors and actors. No film is left unwatched as I break down my top 5 picks, so join me every Sunday for a new episode and get ready to dive into the world of film from Top 5 from The Ray Taylor Show. Hello, cineasts, and indie film lovers. Welcome to another enthralling episode of Top 5. Today we're diving into the dynamic and diverse world of Parker Posey, one of the most captivating and versatile actresses of her generation. We're counting down the top 5 picks, the top 5 Parker Posey movies, celebrating her extraordinary talent and unforgettable performances. Dubbed as Queen of the Indies, Parker Posey has carved out a unique niche in the film world. Her career is a tapestry of compelling characters, each brought to life with her signature blend of intensity, humor, and authenticity. Posey's journey in cinema is as eclectic as it is impressive. From her breakout roles in the 90s indie scene to her seamless transition into mainstream films and back again, she's an actor's actor, fearless in her choices and magnetic in her performances. Posey has a knack for playing complex, often quirky characters that defy convention. She imbues each role with a depth and nuance that makes her characters feel real, relatable, and endlessly fascinating. Whether she's leading an ensemble cast or stealing scenes in supporting roles, Posey's presence on screen is undeniable. In celebrating her top 5 films, we're not just applauding her performances, we're acknowledging her impact on independent cinema. Posey's career is a testament to her boldness and versatility. She challenges us to think, to feel, and to see the world through the eyes of her uniquely crafted characters. So join me as we delve into the world of Parker Posey, a true icon of indie film. Her journey is a celebration of artistic integrity and cinematic brilliance. It's going to be an unforgettable trip through the filmography of one of the most intriguing actors of our time. I've always been a huge fan of hers, despite only having ever seen her in a few movies. And yet it felt like I had known all of her work as I rewatched probably close to 20 Parker Posey movies in preparation for this. It was definitely a lot of fun to truly dive into her films. Many of which, of course, are independent films, as she is the queen of independent films. I love any opportunity to watch a bunch of independent films. There's always a unique feel, a unique vibe, a unique rough around the edges aspect to independent films that I love. And this was, I would say, because there are so many, a difficult list to put together. As she is rarely the lead in a film, she has been part of a lot of ensemble films where she definitely stands out. But even in her small roles, she has a great impact, or her playing with the character in such different ways than we're used to seeing her. There will be a lot of movies discussed in the honorable mention segment, movies that, you know, as I said, it was hard to narrow it down to 5 movies, and I had to make some last-minute choices, so definitely honorable mentions. We'll have a little bit of an extended period in this episode. But she's an actress who could easily be winning awards and leading films, and I hope that she gets that opportunity to shine at some point. It's crazy how much she's loved and how great she is. But she hasn't gotten, like, I could see, I mean, Tarantino's already kind of cast his final film, but somebody like Tarantino or a big director, Scorsese, putting her as the lead in something, I think it would be amazing, because I think she could do it. I think give her a deep, heavy role as the lead, and I think she'll knock it out of the park. I believe, but we'll see. She never hasn't gotten that opportunity really, but let's get it started anyway. Starting off, I mean, like I said, a lot of these are first-time watches. Some of them I have watched once and just haven't seen in a long time since I saw it the one time. And this movie, coming in at number 5, is one of those movies that I saw when it first came out. I was working at a movie theater when it came out, saw it in the movie theater, and it wasn't culturally. It's a movie that people love, but it was a movie that it didn't really stick with me. Until, of course, I rewatched it in preparation for this and was just, I love this movie. It's so much fun. Coming in at number 5, my 5th favorite Parker Posey movie is Josie and the Pussycats. This came out in 2001, musical comedy film directed by Harry Elfont and Deborah Kaplan. It's based on the Archie comics series and the Hanna-Barbera cartoon of the same name. The film is a satirical comedy that explores themes of fame, consumerism, and the music industry's manipulative practices. The music industry's manipulative practices. Great cast in this movie as well. You have Rachel Lee Cook as Josie McCoy, the guitarist and lead vocalist of the band Josie and the Pussycats. You have Rosario Dawson as Valerie Brown, the bassist and backup vocalist. You have Tara Reid as Melody Valentine, the drummer of the band. You also have Alan Cumming as Wyatt Frame, a record label executive. Parker Posey as Fiona, the main antagonist of the film, as well as Gabriel Mann as Alan M., Josie's love interest. Parker Posey's role in this, she plays Fiona, the manipulative and somewhat unhinged CEO of the mega record label, Mega Records. Her character is central to the film's critique of the music industry. Fiona is revealed to be behind the nefarious plot to use popular music to control the minds of teenagers and boost consumerism. She signs Josie and the Pussycats to her label, intending to use them as pawns in her scheme. Posey's portrayal of Fiona is over the top and eccentric, fitting the film's satirical tone and kind of what Parker Posey does really well, I would say, this type of a role. In this movie, the film follows Josie and the Pussycats, a small-town rock band that rapidly ascends to fame after being signed to Mega Records. Initially, the band enjoys their newfound success, but soon they uncover the dark side of the music industry. They discover that their music is being used to subliminally influence teenagers' consumer habits. As the band learns more about the corrupt nature of Mega Records and Fiona's plans, they take it upon themselves to expose the truth and bring down the corrupt system. The story culminates in a showdown between the band and Fiona, with Josie and her friends striving to save the world from the mind-controlling music. Many notable aspects to this film. Of course, the satirical tone. Josie and the Pussycats is known for its satirical take on the early 2000s pop culture, the music industry, and the obsession with fame and consumerism. Such a great part of this movie. Obviously, the music is pretty great as well. The film features a pop-punk soundtrack, including original songs performed by the fictitious band, or the fictional band. Also, this movie has a cult following, although the film was not a major success at the box office and received mixed reviews upon release. It has since gained a cult following, appreciated for its humor, commentary on consumer culture, and the performances. Josie and the Pussycat stands out far more for its playful yet cynical look at the world of pop music, with Parker Posey's performance as Fiona adding a quirky and villainous charm to the film. That is, at number 5, my 5th favorite Parker Posey film is Josie and the Pussycats. Great comedy. Moving on to my 4th favorite Parker Posey film. This is a first time watch, and was kind of surprised, didn't know what to expect with this movie, and so surprised at how weird and unique this movie was. And Parker Posey, of course, her role in this is great, playing another unhinged type of a character. And that movie, coming in at number 4, my fourth favorite Parker Posey film is House of Yes. This came out in 1997. This is a black comedy / drama directed by Mark Waters, based on the play of the same name by Wendy MacLeod. The film is known for its dark humor, sharp wit, and exploration of dysfunctional family dynamics. Parker Posey plays a pivotal role in the film, delivering a performance that is often cited as one of her most memorable. Cast in this movie, of course, Parker Posey is Jackie O. Pascal, the film's central character who is mentally unstable and obsessed with Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis. You also have Josh Hamilton as Marty Pascal, Jackie O's twin brother who returns home with his fiancée, unsettling the family's dynamic. You also have Tori Spelling as Leslie, Marty's naive and unsuspecting fiancée. Of course, you also have Freddie Prinze Jr. as Anthony Pascal, the younger brother who harbors feelings for Leslie. And then you have Genevieve Bujold as Mrs. Pascal, the matriarch of the Pascal family. In this movie, Parker Posey's role, her portrayal of Jackie O. Pascal, is a standout aspect of the film. Her character is intense, complex, and deeply troubled. Jackie O has an unhealthy fixation on the former First Lady, Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis, and is particularly obsessed with the assassination of President John F. Kennedy Jr. She has a history of mental illness and an uncomfortably close relationship with her twin brother, Marty. In this movie, the film takes place during a hurricane on Thanksgiving Day. So this is a great Thanksgiving movie at the Pascal family's home in McLeod, Virginia. Marty Pascal returns home to his wealthy but highly dysfunctional family to announce his engagement to Leslie. His arrival sets off a series of darkly comedic events as his sister, Jackie O, becomes increasingly unhinged, particularly due to her inappropriate attachment to Marty. Jackie O's erratic behavior and the family's peculiar dynamics lead to an intense and claustrophobic atmosphere as the secrets and tension rise to the surface. The interactions among the characters reveal their deeply flawed and troubled natures, culminating in shocking revelations and tragic consequences. There are many notable aspects to this film, including the dark comedy. The film is marked by its darkly comedic tone, blending humor with themes of mental illness, family dysfunction, and taboo topics. The adaptation is very notable as well. This adapted from a stage play. The film retains a theatrical feel with its focus on dialogue and characters' interactions within a single primary location. This movie critically acclaimed performances. Parker Posey's performance was particularly lauded for its intensity and complexity, capturing the eccentric and unstable nature of her character. House of Yes is known for its sharp dialogue, dark humor, and strong performances, particularly by Parker Posey. The film garnered a cult following over the years and is appreciated for its unique take on the dark comedy genre. This was a lot of fun. Was not expecting to see where it went. And her performance is great in this movie that is funny. It is a funny movie. And that movie, coming in number 4, my fourth favorite Parker Posey film, is House of Yes. Let's take a short break from this episode. Listeners, if you're an art lover like I am, or simply somebody who appreciates unique creativity, I've got something you'll adore. Dive into the world of the many faces, an ongoing series of mesmerizing ink paintings on paper. Each piece is a captivating blend of abstract and surreal, always presenting a face that tells its own story. The dedication behind this series is unmatched, with new paintings being released every single day. And if you're thinking about owning one, you're in luck. You can start with a 4x6 original painting for just $20. And if you desire something grander, there are larger sizes available with prices to match. Imagine having an original piece of art infused with emotion and mystery gracing your space. So, if you're intrigued, don't wait. Check out the entire collection and get your own at inspireddisorder.com. Own a piece of creativity that will truly stand out. Now let's get back to the show. Moving on to my third favorite Parker Posey movie. This was a last-minute swappy swap. I had another movie in this spot, decided to take that movie off entirely and put this movie in. And that movie I am talking about, coming in at number 3, is a movie where Parker Posey has a very small role in it. Another ensemble cast, but it is a classic role in a classic film. And that film coming in number 3 is Dazed and Confused. This came out in 1993, coming-of-age comedy written and directed by Richard Linklater. The film is renowned for its ensemble cast and accurate depiction of teenage life in the 1970s, set on the last day of school in 1976. It follows different groups of Texas teenagers during their celebrations and adventures on the first night of summer vacation. This has got a great cast. You have Jason Landon as Randall Pink Floyd, a high school quarterback torn between the expectations of his coaches and his personal aversions to authority. Parker Posey as Darla Marks, a mean-spirited senior girl. You also have Ben Affleck as Fred O'Banion, a sadistic senior who enjoys hazing the incoming freshman. Probably one of the few roles I actually enjoy Ben Affleck in. You also have Matthew McConaughey as David Wooderson, an older guy who still hangs out with high schoolers and a very problematic character, but definitely the definition of cool in this movie. You also have Mila Jovovich, Joey Lauren Adams, Adam Goldberg, Anthony Rapp, and Corey Kosherain in supporting roles. Parker Posey's role specifically in this she plays Darla Marks, a senior preparing the she's preparing to initiate the incoming freshman girls in a hazing ritual. Posey's portrayal of Darla is memorable for its over-the-top meanness and queen bee attitude. She is shown orchestrating and reveling in the hazing activities, exemplifying the sometimes cruel and arbitrary social hierarchies of high school. Despite her limited screen time, Posey's performance stood out and is often cited as a highlight of the film. In this movie, the narrative of Dazed and Confused is loose and episodic, capturing the feel of teenage life in 1970s without a traditional plot structure. It explores themes like rebellion, the search for identity, and the social dynamics of high school. The film showcases various groups of teens, the jocks, the seniors, the freshmen, and the stoners, as they engage in activities typical of the last days of school, including hazing, partying, and philosophizing about their future. Many notable aspects to this film. Of course, the cultural dynamic. The film is lauded for its authentic portrayal of the 1970s, from the soundtrack featuring classic rock hits to the costumes and the dialogue. The ensemble cast is very notable. The film features a large ensemble cast, many of whom include Matthew McConaughey, Ben Affleck, went to have successful acting careers, as Parker Posey did. The cult status of this film is also very notable, although not a major box office success upon its initial release. Dazed and Confused has since gained a cult following and is celebrated for its realistic portrayal of the joys and angst of teenage life. The soundtrack is notable. The film's soundtrack features rock music from the era, is often praised for its enhancing its authentic 1970s atmosphere. Dazed and Confused remains a beloved film for its nostalgic reflection on youth, its richly drawn characters, and its ability to capture the essence of a particular time and place in American culture. Just such a good movie. Initially, I didn't have it on the list because Parker Posey plays such a small role in this movie, but instead I took out another movie that I think is amazing, and she has an even smaller role in that movie. I'll talk about it in honorable mentions. But it's also a very different performance from her, and the movie is really good. But because her impact in this movie, in Dazed and Confused, is so major, I had to put it in. I had to put Dazed and Confused in, and I'll talk about the other one in honorable mentions. But my third favorite Parker Posey film is Dazed and Confused. Moving on to my second favorite Parker Posey film. This was a first-time watch and a great independent film that I really enjoyed. Obviously, that is why it is here at number 2. Coming in number 2, my second favorite Parker Posey movie is The Day Trippers. This came out in 1996, independent comedy drama film, written and directed by Greg Mottola. The film is known for its sharp dialogue, quirky characters, and exploration of family dynamics and relationships. It's a low-budget indie film that generated attention for its clever writing and strong performances. The cast is great. You have Hope Davis as Eliza D'Amico, a woman who believes her husband is having an affair. You have Stanley Tucci as Luis D'Amico, Eliza's husband, whose actions spark the day's journey. You also have Parker Posey as Joe Malone, Elizabeth's sister, who a rather free-spirited and outspoken character. You have Anne Miera as Rita Malone, Eliza and Joe's mother, who is both concerned and comically overbearing. You also have Pat McNamara as Jimmy Malone, Elizabeth and Joe's father, who is more laid back and resigned. You also have Liev Schreiber as Karl Petrov, Joe's boyfriend and an aspiring writer and conspiracy theorist. You also have Campbell Scott in supporting role as the alleged lover. In Parker Posey's role in this film, she plays Joe Malone, as I said, Eliza's sister. Joe is portrayed as a somewhat eccentric, outspoken, and slightly neurotic character. Her personality is in stark contrast to Eliza's more reserved and contemplative nature. Posey's performance adds a layer of humor and energy to the film, as her character often provides a candid and sometimes sarcastic perspective on the situations the family encounters throughout their day. In this movie, the film follows the story of Eliza D'Amico, who often finds after finding what she believes to be a love letter to her husband from another woman, sets out on an impromptu road trip with her family to confront him. They travel from Long Island to Manhattan, with various family members joining along the way, each adding their own quirks and issues to the mix. The journey becomes more about the family's dynamics and each other's members' insecurities and problems than about Eliza's marital issues. As they meet various characters and get into different situations, the family's relationships are tested and explored. The film culminates in a confrontation that reveals more about the characters than the initial premise suggested. There are many notable aspects to this film, obviously. Of course, the indie film charm. The Day Trippers showcases the charm of independent filmmaking with its focus on character-driven storytelling and dialogue. The ensemble cast is another notable part of this movie. The film features strong performances from its ensemble cast, which with each actor bringing depth to their characters. There's also the comedic and dramatic elements are notable. The film skillfully balances comedy and drama, using the road trip narrative to explore complex family and marital relationships. Also, the critical reception of this film is notable. The Day Trippers received positive reviews for its writing, directing, and performances, particularly commended for its witty script and the authenticity of its characters' interactions. Day Trippers is considered a standout indie film of the 1990s and remains appreciated for its insightful look into family relationships, its smart writing, and its memorable performances, including Parker Posey's portrayal of Joe Malone. This movie is my second favorite Parker Posey movie, and it's a great movie. First off, Parker Posey is great in this movie. It's not necessarily her movie. Her character doesn't necessarily shine above the rest, but it doesn't need to, because all these characters are great, and her character in this is great. And it's a movie she's in that is my second favorite. My second favorite Parker Posey film is The Day Trippers. Let's take a quick break from the show. Listeners, are you ready to take your experience with The Ray Taylor Show to the next level? Dive into Inspired Disorder Plus. For just $5 a month, you unlock a world of premium content that's sure to satisfy your every entertainment and artistic craving. Imagine enjoying The Ray Taylor Show, a full week completely ad-free in both audio and video formats. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Get exclusive access to live painting archive. You get to be the first to lay eyes on new releases from the many faces, and enjoy members-only discounts and deals that'll have you coming back for more. With a treasure trove that includes a podcast back catalog boasting 14 unique shows and over 600 episodes, personal insights through Ray Taylor's own blog, that is my personal blog, as well as my creative writing to spark your imagination, and an interactive Ask Me Anything section. Inspired Disorder Plus is a feast for the curious mind. Ready to elevate your entertainment game? Head on over to inspireddisorder.com/plus and become a member of an exclusive club. Dive in, indulge, and inspire your senses. Now let's get back to the show. Moving on to my favorite Parker Posey movie of all time. This was a tough one. I had many movies at this number one spot. I wasn't sure which one to do, but I think this might be my favorite movie, and it might be one of my favorite performances from her. Coming in at number one is Best in Show. Not only is the title of this film Best in Show, but in this episode of Top 5, it is also the Best in Show for the 2024 Parker Posey Top 5 movie picks. This movie, Best in Show, came out in the year 2000. It's a mockumentary comedy filmed, directed by Christopher Guest, which parodies the world of dog shows and the eccentric participants involved in them. The film is known for its improvisational style of dialogue, quirky characters, and satirical take on dog show culture. The cast is great. Christopher Guest as Harlan Pepper, a bloodhound owner. You have Eugene Levy as Jerry Fleck, a terrier owner with 2 left feet. You have Catherine O'Hare as Cookie Fleck, Jerry's wife, and with a promiscuous past. You also have Parker Posey as Meg Swan, an overly intense Weimaraner owner. You also have Michael Hitchcock as Hamilton Swan, Meg's equally neurotic husband. Of course, you have Jennifer Coolidge in this as Sherry Ann Cabot, the wealthy owner of a poodle. You also have Jane Lynch as Christy Cummings, Sherry Ann's personal dog handler. Of course, you also have John Michael Higgins as Scott Donald, the flamboyant owner of a Shih Tzu. This movie also has Michael McCain as Stefan Vanderhoof, Scott's equally flamboyant partner. Of course, we also have Fred Willard as Buck Laughlin, the clueless dog show commentator, which I thought was hilarious. Parker Posey's role, she plays Meg Swan, one half of the neurotic yuppie couple who own a Weimaraner named Beatrice. Meg, along with her husband Hamilton, is obsessive about her dog's well-being and mental state. The Swans are high-strung and overly concerned with minute details concerning Beatrice, reflecting the often absurd level of dedication shown by some pet owners. Posey's character is particularly memorable for its intense, high-energy performance and for her character's neurotic nature. In this movie, Best in Show follows several dog owners and their beloved pets as they prepare for and participate in a prestigious dog show called the Mayflower Kennel Club Dog Show. The film documents the various eccentricities of dog owners, their relationship with their pets, and their interactions with each other. The film showcases the different walks of life from which participants come, their idiosyncrasies, and the length at which they will go to ensure their dogs win the competition. As the competition progresses, tensions rise, and the film humorously portrays the competitive nature of the show and the peculiarities of the dog show world. Many notable aspects to this film, of course, the improvisational comedy. The film largely improvised, with the actors creating much of their dialogue based on characters outlined provided by Guest and Levy. The mockumentary style, Best in Show, is presented in a mockumentary format, giving it a realistic yet humorous feel. You also have the great ensemble cast, many of whom are veterans of Guest films and are praised for their comedic chemistry and timing in this film as well as those. Also, this movie garnered critical acclaim. The film was well received by critics and audiences for its satire, wit, and unique approach to comedy. Better in Show is often cited as one of the best comedy films of the early 2000s, and it has gained a cult following over the years. Parker Posey's performance as Meg Swan is a standout, contributing significantly to the film's humor and quirky charm. That is why the performance, the movie, all come together as my favorite Parker Posey movie, Best in Show. Now, there are many movies that didn't make this list. Scream 3 is the first honorable mention. Parker Posey is by far my favorite part of Scream 3. I actually really like Scream 3. But to put it on this list, I would have liked to, but I don't know. It just... something about it didn't fit right for me when it came to this list. So Scream 3, even though it was another fun watch, and I do enjoy that movie, and I think Parker Posey is amazing playing Gail Weathers, it is here in honorable mentions. Also, Party Girl, which is great, which is a lead role for Parker Posey, where she plays a party girl who wants to try and start a business. It's kind of a basic kind of premise. For like many comedies, you know, you have a lot of comedies where you have a lazy, no direction lead character who, through the course of events, trying to straighten out their life, understands what they want to do in life and succeeds in the end. Clock Watchers was great, kind of a surreal take on what it's like working as a temp. Pretty great movie. Almost made the list as well. Parker Posey is a co-act. She's not the lead in Clock Watchers, but a great movie. Very interesting and weird movie, which I enjoyed. Columbus was the movie that was on this list. Columbus was at number 1 for a lot of this list, and then I moved it down to number 3 just because Parker Posey's role is so small in this movie. But it is by far my favorite movie out of all of these. It's really great. Simple. movie I absolutely loved, and so glad I watched it. But I couldn't justify it being a Parker Posey, and it's the most subtle, like calmed down Parker Posey role that she's ever done. But Columbus is a great movie. Highly recommend that one. And of course, Kicking and Screaming, another great movie. Parker Posey is in, and it's great, but it is similar to a lot of the other movies. And I just like the other movies that it was similar to more. But those are the honorable mentions. Let me recap my list one more time, and we will get out of here, shall we? This is my top 5 Parker Posey movies ranked. Starting out from number 5 is Josie and the Pussycats. Number 4 is House of Yes. Number 3 is not Columbus. Number 3 is number 3. I made such a last-minute change that I didn't change my script. Number 3 was Dazed and Confused. Let me start this over again. Do it one more time. Dazed and Confused, number 3. This is my top 5 Parker Posey movies ranked. Starting off with number 5 is Josie and the Pussycats. Number 4 is House of Yes. Number 3 is Dazed and Confused. Number 2 is The Day Trippers. And my number 1 favorite Parker Posey film of all time is Best in Show. I would love to hear your favorite Parker Posey movies. Are they the independent trilogy that includes Faye West? That was such an interesting trilogy of movies. Didn't really like any of them, but it was very interesting. I think it was Faye Grimm, Crazy Henry, or Bad Henry, or Good Henry, and then something Rifle. Billy Rifle or something like crazy trilogy of movies. Maybe if I had seen those movies more, I could see maybe if I did enjoy those more, I could see Faye Grimm going. That was definitely the best of the trilogy, I think. Regardless, I would love to hear your top 5 Parker Posey movies. Make a case. Maybe there's a movie I missed, but I watched a ton of them. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in to Top 5 from the Ray Taylor Show. I do hope you enjoyed my rankings and analysis of my top 5 Parker Posey movies. Let me know how you would rank them, and hit me up in the comments and social media. Are there any films I missed? Join the conversation by leaving a comment or rating on your favorite podcast platform or over on youtube.com/Inspired Disorder. Don't forget to tune in next Sunday for an all-new episode, and see you again next week for more Top 5. Subscribe to The Ray Taylor Show on YouTube and everywhere podcasts are found. Binge the full week ad-free over at InspiredDisorder.com/plus. Purchase Ray Taylor Show merch over at InspiredDisorder.com. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!
Today is the day where you wake up and you realize that everything that you've been dreaming about, everything that you've been wanting, every goal and wish and hope that you've ever had can become real. Dreams can come true. What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.